Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be reviewing another combiner model. In this case it is the one of Sidorak and Keetongu from 2005. Now this guy's an absolute beast, and for a little bit of story background, this guy basically is, according to the Bionicle Wiki, the Shadowed One's most trusted member of the Dark Hunters and his personal bodyguard. Now, apparently, the Shadowed One was working on an experiment to make more obedient and stronger Dark Hunters, and so he has him appointed as his personal bodyguard. Anyway, that's for story. For an overview, before we get into the nitty-gritty, this guy, I mean, he is a fucking beast. He's menacing, has a menacing pose, and 4 arms, which is actually only seen in 2 Bionicle sets, as far as I'm aware, which, well, the first one would be him, which was a combiner model, not technically a set, and then we only saw it until 2007 with Nocturne, which is a limited edition set, so you're gonna have trouble finding Bionicle sets with 4 arms, which is a pretty cool thing right there. Obviously, he's menacing, big pose, looks like a Rahi. I think he has kind of Rahi features to him. And overall aesthetics, his color scheme carries well Keetongu and Sidorak's color scheme. Although, I will say, the red is lackluster. I mean, we used a lot of yellow and gray. However, we really only have red down at the feet and in the teeth, and that's it. We left a lot of red on the table as far as all of Sidorak's armoring pieces, and I find it very strange that they wouldn't have included that somewhere in there, but that's what we get. So, going into the nitty-gritty on his feet, starting off, a pro that I would say is stability. As you can see, he's got this extra toe to the side, and that gives him, you know, lots of stability and doesn't let him fall or tip over to the side. He's using the same sort of foot build as Keetongu, which is pretty big and burly. It does leave a little gap, so that's one con I would say. Not a big fan of the big gap there. Moving up, pretty basic kind of middle leg there, not much going on. However, in the upper leg, it's fairly armored. Although, again, the lack of color inclusion, it's just yellow and gray like Keetongu. And then we have this kind of random little, let me get to focus. This random little thing just kind of flapping around. I'm not sure what it's supposed to do. I feel like there could have been, I mean, for example, the pauldrons of Sidorak attached onto it. It does nothing. It's just there. I don't get it, and that's a con I would say. It just seems awkward. Moving up to the body, I will say this is my favorite part of the build. I mean, just look at that thing. If I can kind of move his arms to the side, we've got a very complex build using lift arms to kind of push it forward here and then pull it back there. We've got this kind of motion going on up here, which I'm not sure what that's for. It seems kind of pointless to me, but nonetheless, it adds something to it. On the back, we've got, you know, fairly armored, and I think it looks pretty good from the back. Most sets don't, but this one, I'd say, does a pretty good job. Now, we have the lift arms kind of protruding outwards into his arms, which is probably one of the biggest pros of here. I actually will move back to the body for a second. This, I don't understand it. Now, I'm no LJ. I'm not going to complain about conspicuous blue pins. I get it, but I mean, I could just take it off and it literally does nothing. For some reason, they want you to put it in there. I don't know. It's weird. Lots of strange stuff going on with this, but nonetheless, let's move back to the arms. For the top part, I would say a con definitely is the bare upper arms. There's not much going on, and this could have easily been replaced for the dark red rock shoe legs of Sidorak and added more red to it. Would have made it pop a little more. And moving down, definitely the arms overall are a little lackluster. We have got this claw here with only one mobile finger, thumb, I don't know what you want to call it. But overall, the arms in general is a pro because we've got 4 of them, of course, so that's a plus. One pro I will say on his arms is his right arm, where he has the Rotuka disc launcher. Now, it's a little strange looking and it's not really much special going on there. However, you just put the disc on there and as you know, the normal process goes like this. you pull it out and it goes flying, right? However, in this case, as you can see here, we have sort of a system in which it'll let you focus. Ah, damn it. We have a little peg here where it attaches into this small axle hole and it holds it in place. So that's not going to be falling out all the time. And I mean, that's a pro, I would say. You know, it lets you keep it in all the time without having to have the bare ripcord popping out. And, you know, I think it does a good job. Now moving on to the head. This, I would say, is probably where the weight of the model is. It's a very menacing design. I'm going to go ahead and turn him to the side a bit. If you can see, it looks pretty badass. I mean, it's sort of like a Rocky kind of head. It really brings me back and kind of reminisces to the 2001 Bionicle Titan Rahi, which were some of my favorite sets from Bionicles, so it's a personal thing. I think it does it very well. Of course, big ass gap in the middle there, but I mean, it has an opening mouth. The mouth opens up and it's got jaws, and I love opening jaws with big fangs. You know, guys, well, one of my favorite sets is Vizon and Fenrak, so you can imagine. Very well done. The jaw does open up from the top though, so you can't really leave it open, and it honestly is sometimes a little awkward. So I will say that's one of the cons of the head, which is the fact that you can't keep it open unless he's like yawning out like that, which looks a little weird. But nonetheless, it does it well. It's a little top heavy, so your connector's not stiff enough. It can droop. However, this is a new set. Well, these were new sets, so that shouldn't be too much of a problem here. Overall, I will say this guy is a solid combiner model. A little awkward, I will say, because of, you know, the little flaps and occasional things that just don't make much sense. But overall, I am pleasantly surprised with this, and he does a good job at being a menacing build with the forearms, kind of a Rocky look. Definitely, though, there was a lot left to be desired as far as the color distribution. Would have liked to see more red in it. But nonetheless, those were my overall thoughts on Sentrakh, the combiner model. Before I close out this video, I want to mention I usually keep my guys posted on my Instagram as far as any updates for up and coming videos, so feel free to follow me on there and you will see sneak peeks plus other content. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. This has been Facts on Builds, and I'm out. Have an excellent Bionicle-tastic day.